Joe, it's obviously a decisive few weeks. How are you looking ahead to this weekend and I guess the next few weeks as a whole?
Yeah, it's a big couple of weeks coming ahead. We know it's been intense up to now and how competitive everything's been. It's probably not a bad chance for us to change our mindset and shift competitions. It's always nice to get to Hampden and play on a nice pitch, and that'll lead us nicely into playing at Ibrox on Wednesday as well. So yeah, it's a big game. It's always important to get through to a final, and it's no different for this game. You
obviously have some good memories, National Stadium. Can that help switching competition even when things are so intense at the end of a season like this?
Yeah, and I think it's because it's always, a semi-final's a big occasion. It kind of, you've got to bring the best out of each other. You've got to make sure you're standing up for it. The whole occasion to play at Hampden will help with that as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. We know we've got to produce a performance and try to get through to the next round.
How had the squad been since the defeat last week? It's the first defeat, I think, since last year, quite a long time.
I'll be honest with you, it was a down couple of days, the first couple of days, which I'd expect. I think they really felt the loss, which is not a bad thing from my perspective. But we really managed to dig into it and pick the bones of it. We spent quite a while looking at the game and looking at certain aspects of the game and what we didn't do so well. And tried to put it right this week. Made a very clear point that there's a cut-off point and there's no sulking and feeling sorry for ourselves because we've got another big game to look ahead to for the weekend, and they've been great ever since. After that first day back in, we've changed mindsets. We've looked positively at it, and they've been really good in training.
What did go wrong for you last weekend? What are you hoping to change this weekend?
Well, I'll be honest with you. We spoke a lot about the game plan and the tactics and what we did excellently in the final against them. And we just came completely away from it. It was kind of like we reverted back to what we did previously when we played them in the league. It felt very similar to that tie where we didn't feel like we deserved anything from the game. I thought we were well beaten, even though we created a good few chances and we could have got lucky and nicked something from it. But it kind of took us back to that feeling, and it's something that, when we're showing them the game plan and we're showing them the opposition profiles, it's trying to make sure we're sticking to it, because as I said, we did it excellently in the final against Hibs, and it's even more strange coming off the back of the performance against City on the Wednesday night where we did it excellently again. So it's down to us to make sure that that's really hitting home, and we've got to make sure that we're really pushing to try and stay on the same page with each other and stick to the plan going forward.
Can a result like that, obviously you want to win every game, but can a result like that almost be the kickstart you need for this final push in the season, especially when we spoke before the League Cup final, and you'd said that you'd mentioned the word treble. You don't want to shy away from it, and now that it's getting closer, can that be almost the kick up the backside you need to say it is here? If we just win the remaining of our games, we've got it.
And that's been without me having to even give that message. That message come immediately from the players. We didn't, like I said, we didn't shy away from some of the not so good stuff that we'd done, but straight away they were looking at the positives on the back of that and knowing that if we do what we need to do, we can fully control that. Not looking at what anybody else is doing, we try to stay focused on what we're doing. I think we can do that a little bit more as well. So yeah, I think it's going to give us a kick up the backside that we need, because it's coming thick and fast now, and it's changing week in, week out. The beauty of the end of that week is it as it was at the start. Top 3 teams all took 4 points that week. We all won 1, lost 1 and drew 1. So we're back to where we were to the start of the 3-game week. So we've got to make sure that we're kicking on and picking up every point we can, because the disappointing thing for us was the performance as well as the result. I think sometimes you can look at it and go, we was unlucky there, or we played really well, and you can feel a lot more hard done by, but we didn't, because we knew that we didn't perform on that day, and Hibs were by far the better team.
Gabriel mentioned the potential treble. Is that a clear objective now? Do you speak to the players about that? That's what we want to win? Yeah,
it's not something that we speak about daily, because I don't think it changes our objectives game to game. I think it's, when you're in this club and you're in this building, trophies are expected of you. So I think that's something that is ingrained in the club, and you want to win trophies, you want to be in finals. Yes, we've got the opportunity to win a treble, and we want to make sure that we're in every competition going, and we want to maintain in there for as long as possible. So because we want to win every game, that's always a possibility, and as I said, we're in a position where we're in all competitions right now, and we want to make sure we keep it that way.
Maybe a first treble as well. What would that mean to you as head coach to achieve that?
It'd be huge. You know, it's not something that you can ever expect to do. It's not something that you just know is just going to land on your lap. You've got to work for it. We were so close last year to it that it was a little bit surreal to come away from it thinking you're a point away from a treble. And this year it's even harder to do. I think, you know, if we manage to achieve anything closer to that, it'll be a massive achievement this year.
There's also been big news for the club as a whole this week. The club have confirmed they're holding positive conversations about potential takeover. Do you see that as a positive for the women's side as well? What would you like to see in a potential takeover? What would you hope happens for the women's side as a result of that?
Yeah, I think, you know, the club have the women's side at the best interest, and hopefully that will continue moving forward.
Just wondering, Joe, was it a good idea to play those games at Ibrox coming up?
Do you know what? I think it's great that, as I've just said, the club have got our best interests at heart. Patrick's been, you know, a real forefront of that. He was the one that offered us the game at Ibrox coming up, and I'm always going to snatch his hand off for that opportunity. And I think it shows, you know, that the guys have got an old firm on the weekend, and that's not really affecting our opportunity to play there midweek. I think it really sends a strong message of, you know, how important that they feel that we are to this club and our successes going forward.
Do you give you a wee edge going into those games, you think, with weird opponents?
I think it allows us to play these bigger games on bigger stadiums and on decent pitches. I think the point is we want to showcase our best football, and, you know, when you're playing on a beautiful pitch like Ibrox, that really helps. And, you know, we feel like we're a team that want to play football and try and get the ball down and move it as much as possible. So yeah, I think it's whenever we ever said this previously, whenever we get a chance to play at Ibrox, we jump at it.
Three of the team now in the PFA player of the season. What does that mean to you, and how deserved is that for those players?
Which is that one? Sorry.
The three players that were announced in the PFA season of the year. How kind of pleasing is that for you and deserved for these players?
Oh, it's massive. You know, I think these individual accolades that the players are managing to be up for, I think it says a lot about their season, because we play so many games, and the people that are up for these awards are up against other players that are doing it week in, week out as well. And I just think it shows the consistency of what they have been doing and continue to be doing, and hopefully it can continue to the end of the season.